Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here today. I appreciate it. And I'm going to pick up kind of where Senator Tillis left off, because this hearing today is really a distraction from the discussion that we ought to be having. And as he said, what my colleagues across the dais have supported, the Women's Health Protection Act, is really something that goes so far beyond codifying Roe v. Wade. It goes so far. It is that bill that is abortion on demand from conception to birth. That's what that bill does. Partial birth abortions, it permits. It even goes so far as to supersede state laws, federal and state laws that are conscience laws and that protect healthcare providers who choose not to perform abortions for moral or religious reasons. And the policies that the Democrats have laid out hardly get covered by the mainstream media. But I can guarantee you that media will cover this hearing today because they want to say Republicans are anti-IVF. And we know that's probably what they're going to say. Now, and we know they'll use fear tactics and try to falsely paint Republicans as anti-IVF so that they can scare families. Well, just for the record, and here's the reality, I support IVF. I support fertility-related services. I'm a mom and a grandmom, have plenty of friends that have used IVF in these services. I think that having children is one of the greatest blessings that God gives us. I want Tennesseans to have the right to rear that family. And I will always oppose efforts that are going to block IVF because it is a service that many people need. So I think it is long past time that we hold our colleagues, our friends across the aisle, to account for what the Women's Health Protection Act would actually do and the radical nature of that. And Dr. Wubenhorst, thank you for being here today. I spoke a little bit about that Women's Health Protection Act and how far it goes beyond codifying Roe v. Wade. And one of the most reprehensible provisions that is in that legislation is the ban on informed consent. And the fact that those requirements are banned, you couldn't give the woman the opportunity to view the image of an unborn child or to hear the heartbeat of an unborn child. I am the sponsor of the Women's Right to Know Act. I think women need that opportunity to experience what that life in the womb is really about and to know that. And I would just like for you to weigh in the minute I've got left about what women have a right to know about that, about the dangers that are there with abortion, the medical complications. So I'd like for you to speak.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I do think that the ability to see your baby's heartbeat and hear it is extremely important. And I think one of the reasons for the opposition is that there are some studies that show that about at least 60% of women who actually do that will choose to keep their baby and parent their baby. So that shows the power of what you see and what you hear as overcoming the idea that, okay, this is just a clump of cells, this is not really a human being. I think that the other points that you're making are very important about the safety of abortion. Abortion is associated with significant harms to women. And I do want to correct something. You know, it's not true that abortions do not occur very, very late. Dr. Warren Hearn does abortions very far into the third trimester. And that is not the same as labor and delivery, because the goal of labor and delivery is a living child. The goal of an abortion is a dead child. And in fact, if an abortion is not successful, that is called a failed abortion. So those two things are not equivalent. In addition to that, both medical and surgical abortion are associated with complications, and women deserve to know what those are. They need to understand that these procedures and have important consequences for them, including hemorrhage, infection, damage to the uterus. I've personally cared for women who had abortion complications, in particular needing an ICU stay, needing a couple of surgeries after their mid-trimester abortion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.